that focus, and then at various times know when the focus should be either held or shifted or deepened. In this example, the leader uses something very simple, but it gets everyone on the same page. It's 10 minutes into the third session.
All right, guys, let me get you guys focused real quick. I know we were supposed to be talking about anger management today, so one thing I wanted to talk about was fuses and how long your fuse is. So I'm gonna throw these out here. Now these fuses right here represent anger. Some people have short fuses, some people have long fuses. I want you to pick out a fuse that represents your anger.
Still my fuse.
Don't get mad.
I might, because mine's real short.
Now, I'm glad you said that. Let me ask you this. Think about your fuse for a second. What makes you say that your fuse is that small?
Because it's just so easy for me to have something happen and just blow up.
Okay.
And later I might look back and be like, well, that really wasn't that big of a deal, but at the time it's like I'm ready to fight about it.
Okay. How about others of you? How about yours?
Mine is also extremely short. Kind of that same thing, like I feel if somebody gets in my face about anything at all, it's on. Like,
It's on.
It's done. Yeah.
How about you, my man?
I'm the same way. Like, yeah, I'm okay when I'm by myself, but people just like make me mad a lot of times, especially when I'm driving.
People make you mad.
People cut you off.
How about you, mama?
Now, see, he said when he's by himself, he's okay. No, anger is with me all the time. My
Really?
mom's angry. When I'm at work, I'm angry, and it just even in here talking about situations, I can just feel myself getting angry.
Really?
So, this may be actually a little bit longer than I'll do it. You did fold that in half because it's with me all the time.
How about you, dear?
Yeah, I got the little one. Evidently everybody's mad at me for getting that one, but I got the little one. No, it's my biggest problem is my coworkers. You know, I have a couple in particular that absolutely drive me insane, and it makes the day just that much more stressful. You know, it's like it's hard enough at work anyway, but then when you've got these coworkers that just get under your skin, yeah. And so I'm having a hard time not doing something that could really jeopardize my job because I'm at my last wit's end.
Thank you.
The technique was simple, but to the point. Leaders can get the focus by using a simple exercise or by asking a good question. In this segment, we see the leader holding the focus on work-related anger. Note how a member attempts to veer away from the focus, but the leader holds the focus on a topic.
Let's do this. I think a good topic. I mean, I think we should divide anger into work-related anger and then sort of home and other related. Can we do work today? Because you seem like you had a lot of energy around. Yeah. Go ahead. Why don't you express?
It gets so frustrating to me. It's like we have these projects due and deadlines to meet, and I'm the only one that does my share. It's like my coworkers don't do anything, and then we all get yelled at. So I'm telling you what, last week, I snapped at two of them because I've had it. I've had it up to here with their antics, and the supervisor, she comes at me, and I just don't think it's fair.
Okay, we'll come back to you for sure.
Okay.
I saw a lot of heads, and
mine's more at my supervisor. So much anger towards her because she's so incompetent and irresponsible. And it kind of feels like my blood boils whenever I just get around her. Yeah.
We'll work on all of these topics. These are good.
Yeah.
How about?
Yeah, this last week whenever I was at home and I had to talk to the cable company, they kept me on the phone on hold for like half an hour and they still wouldn't send anybody out to my house. And I got to the point where I was like...
Hang on. Is yours about home? Can we wait? Do that next week? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do work. And you think if you have some work-related anger, and I want to do that because, believe me, I've done the cable thing too. I don't know what I think they test us to see if we'll get their product or something. Go ahead. What about work-related?
Well, I know for me, mine comes when my coworkers or somebody comes to me at the very end of the day and are asking me to do something at the last minute. And even last week, I got in a lot of trouble for sort of yelling at my shift supervisor.
We've got a lot that we'll cover today. Jen, what about any?
A similar situation where I probably should have shut my mouth a little sooner than I did with a supervisor. Yeah.
Here, the leader held the focus on work-related anger. So often in groups, the leader is not aware of the need to hold the focus, and this is why so many groups tend to drift from topic to topic. A skilled leader must master both how to hold the focus as well as how to shift the focus. This is what we demonstrate next. As we state in the book, there are many reasons for shifting the focus. In the next 2 segments, we show effective use of shifting the focus. Let's watch the first demonstration where the leader shifts to a different topic. This is a group at a 28-day treatment program, and the members have been talking about worrying for about 20 minutes.
I didn't think that worrying could be a choice in your life. It just always seemed something to be in my life. I didn't know that. I mean, I've done it all a long time, and I'm so glad that we talked about it because it really helped.
Okay, yeah, good. Me too. I'm really glad because I used to feel kind of silly about worrying about everything.
Yeah.
And I think just talking about it might help a little bit.
It's been helpful. Okay, good. You know, let's maybe shift away from this for a few minutes. You've all done some great work about worrying, and we've talked about it, and it sounds like that's been real helpful. But another topic that sometimes just plagues folks who come to the treatment center is guilt. And let's talk about guilt for a few minutes if we can. Think about, I'm going to ask you this, and I want you to think about this. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being very valuable and 1 being not very valuable, how valuable do you think it would be for you for us to spend some time talking about guilt? And JP, we'll start with you and go this way. Just a number on a scale of 1 to 10.
At least an 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 9.
9?
I don't know. I'll have to think about this one.
Okay, you want to think about that?
I'd say, yeah, definitely at least a 9. Guilt is definitely more of a topic for me than worry.
Even more so than worry?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joe, how about for you?
10. For
10.
sure, this
Okay.
is a big part of my life.
Okay. And Megan, I don't know, did you want to share a number or?
I guess I'm with Joe, 10.
Oh, okay, okay. So it does sound like us spending some time this afternoon talking about this topic of guilt would probably be very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I have an exercise that I think will get us focused on the topic of guilt and maybe even be helpful to some of you.
In this example, the leader shifted from one topic, anger, to another topic, guilt, because she felt that they had covered the topic thoroughly for the time being. The skilled leader is always aware of the focus and whether it needs to shift. In this case, the leader could sense that the group needed to shift to something else, so she chose another topic that she thought the members could relate to. The next demonstration is toward the end of a group for teachers, and the leader needs to shift the focus to close the group.
This is really helpful for dealing with parents, and
It's been helpful so
yeah.
far. Okay, great.
Yeah, I'd never really thought of it the way that Morgan has been talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, it's certainly helping me to think about it,
Mhm.
but there's a pair of twins in my class, and their parent is so incompetent. It's really getting out of hand. We were getting ready to go to lunch the other day,
Okay.
and she came in, and I was
Lauren, I might have to stop you for a second,
Okay.
and we might have time for that next week, but
Okay.
I've been sort of watching the time, and I noticed that we only have a few minutes left for this evening. So if we can, let's just sort of close our group this evening by, maybe Morgan, we'll start with you and go around this way. Just a comment, a very brief comment about something that has stood out to you from the group tonight.
learning how to communicate was one big thing for me.
Okay, good.
Being able to share our experiences has been helpful.
That was helpful.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sometimes the leader shifts the focus to the closing phase. The focus can be shifted from a topic to another topic, or from a person to another person, or as in this case, from one phase of group to another phase. Another important skill with regard to focus is the skill of deepening the focus. Leaders need to be able to deepen the focus in order to have impact on their groups. Watch how the leader deepens the focus. The member has been talking for a while about feelings of worthlessness.
I mean, I've just never felt like I've been good enough, that I'm good at anything. And my sister's always been kind of the same way. except that she sort of, to cope, got into religion, and I got into drugs, and you know, I don't really like to hang out with her that much since all of that.
Do you want us to help you
Yeah.
go a little deeper?
I mean, I'd like to.
Okay, say some more about this then.
I mean, I just don't know how I can change it.
How you can change what?
Feeling like I'm not good or not good enough. I mean, I've always felt this way.
You're not good enough? Let me do something. I'm going to do this for y'all. We're going to focus on Liz. Here, each of you take a pen. I got one left. And I'm going to give you a sheet of paper. I want you to divide the sheet of paper in half. Or fold it. Maybe fold it if you want to. On one side of the paper, on one half of the fold, you're going to write things that you think Liz is good at. Or what you. On the other side, you're going to write things you think you're good at. Which side are you doing first, Liz?
Not my side.
That's what I thought. Things about Liz and then things about yourself. Okay. Let me just ask, and then we're going to come back to Liz. What was it easier to do, Liz or yourself?
Liz.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So, in a sense, all of you can think about somebody else, but you don't feel that good about yourself. What did you put for Liz? What's something you put for Liz?
Well, earlier she was talking about what you had done for your friend, and I think that you're good at being a good friend because of that.
What did you put?
And sort of like that, you're good at just being like real supportive, because just in here, she's always so nice.
Would y'all agree that she's very
Yeah.
supportive?
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine's a lot
definitely.
like.
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm sorry. Mine's a lot like JP's, and Liz, you're like the first person to speak up in support of somebody else when they're kind of getting down on themselves.
Mine was last week when I got really emotional after group ended. Like, we went out for coffee and stuff, and that really helped, for me to just talk more to you, and you were so supportive for me.
How about for yourselves? What did this do for you to write this? What's your reaction when I had you? I think when I said you're going to write about Liz, and then I said write about yourself. What was your reaction? Or what did you?
Well, I certainly put more effort into what I thought about Liz, and I kind of struggled with myself a little bit.
Okay, and we're going to look at that. And I think that's true. I think it's
Yeah.
true for all of you. Lauren, your head's on.
Well, I put more confident because of coming here, but that's because, of Liz and of everyone.
Like, I almost felt selfish, or I don't know, I felt weird.
Conceited?
Yeah, conceited writing stuff about me.
As you can see here, Ed takes the member and the other members deeper while working with one member. Effective leaders figure out ways to include the other members and get the members to think about themselves. In this example, the leader used the writing technique because he knew that the members thought Liz was outstanding in many areas of her life. In later segments of this DVD and corresponding chapters in the book, you'll see a number of ways to work with individuals in groups, as well as ways to use theories to take the group deeper. In the next demonstration, the group deals with how to get along better with parents. Members have been complaining about their parents, and the leader deepens the focus by asking good, thought-provoking questions. Let's watch.
I fight with my mom all the time.
Yeah, me too. She's so stupid. She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it at all.
Well, I hate going to my dad's because he never lets me do anything. It's like I get there and it's just locked down.
Okay, so you all have shared complaints about your parents, and you have issues with them and things that don't go well. I want to ask you this question. I want you to think about this. Now, really, really think about this. What part do you play in this not getting along with your parents or having issues? Because I'm going to guess that you play some role in this. And I know you and Eric's looking at me like...
No, I just think, what I'm saying, I think it's all my parents' fault. Like, for instance, one time when I come home from school...
Eric, let me stop you for a second. I'm going to guarantee you, and I know, and I love you all dearly, but let me say this to you. You play some part in this. I promise you, you play some role. Now think about this, Eric. What role do you play in not getting along with your parents?
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ignore her. I know that messes with her. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just know that.
Yeah, Morgan's shaking her head, Jane.
But I know if I did my homework when I got home, I could probably, like, not have any problems with her.
Okay, so why don't you do that?
I mean, you make it sound like a choice.
Oh.
Isn't it a choice? Isn't it, when it really boils down to it, isn't it really a choice? Aren't you choosing to do some things that make that relationship not go very well? Think about it for a second. Could I do some things differently that might make it go better? Jen?
Yeah. But I mean, are you going to have this conversation with her too?
Not necessarily. I'm more interested in having it with you. Are there things you could do differently? I'm going to ask all of you. Are there things you could do differently that would make it go better? And very small things. I'm not asking you about big things. Doing your homework before she gets on your case about doing your homework.
Yeah.
Think about that. Okay, Jen, what would your thing be?
I could stop yelling.
Okay. Choosing not to yell?
Yeah.
In this example, the leader was aware that the group could go much deeper, so she asked deepening questions. Too often, leaders ask surface or informational questions, which cause the group to never go very deep. Asking good questions is an excellent way to deepen the focus. This next skill discussion and demonstration is on cutting off, which is the skill of getting a member to stop talking. Knowing how to cut off members is one of the most important skills for a leader to master. It's a difficult skill to use because it runs counter to what we are taught as polite behavior. Also sometimes called blocking or intervening, it's not a skill to be used for rude or authoritarian purposes, however. Rather, it's a method or skill for stopping a member from rambling or dominating a group, giving another member inappropriate or harmful advice, saying something rude, and arguing with other members. We provide 3 examples of cutting off. In this first example, it's the 4th session. The leader cuts off in order to protect a sharing member.
This is kind of hard to share because I've never told anybody before. And, like, I'm kind of afraid of rejection and stuff because that's kind of the way a lot of this goes. But I'm gay, and I've never told anybody, like not even my parents or anybody, because I really think my parents have a real big problem with it and really would be kind of upset by it.
You know, you can go to one of those therapists that like can change, because you don't have to be gay. Like I have a friend who was a lesbian, and like if she went.
I'd like to get you to stop here for a second, because if we all remember, we agreed from the first session, group is really designed to be a safe and supportive environment. So if I could just get you to stop here, and we may go to some other people, and we can have that support and safety for JP. Eric?
I was just thinking, I know that had to be hard for you to say that. I know that I told my parents that I was an atheist, and it was difficult for them then, and it's still a little difficult for them to deal with. But I think that in here, we could definitely be helpful with that, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, a little while ago, I brought home my boyfriend, and he's white, and that did not go over well. So it's definitely important to have that support when you're not getting it at home.
In this segment, the leader cuts off the negative energy flowing from the attacking member. In this case, failing to cut off would have been harmful to the member who had shared. Watch more situations now where cutting off is necessary. In this segment, a member starts to ramble and the leader interrupts and brings the discussion back to the purpose of the group.
Let's do this. Let's actually generate a list of things that we want to take to council on this issue.
What about a thorough needs assessment?
Okay. So a needs assessment?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good item. What about others of you? Other things that need to be on this list?
An actual like city planning project.
An actual planning project, okay. Others of you, we've got needs assessment and a planning project.
You know, Chris, I've got 5 things that I think we should talk about, and one of them, well, first of all, I was talking to my brother last night, and you know, he's got his own business issues.
Joe,
but
let me stop you for just a second. If we kind of want to stay on task and generate our list. Do you have an idea for something that needs to go on the list?
Well, sure. I mean, I think we
Okay.
should talk to the city manager and budget constraints.
Okay, budget. So budget constraints. About budget constraints. Budget issues. Okay, others of you?
I think we should talk to the university and see what they're willing to do about it.
Okay. University discussion.
You know, and speaking of the university, you know, the student dorms, they're really, really dirty. And, you know, every single weekend.
Okay, Joe, hold on just a second. Items for the list. Okay, Jane, how about you? Do you have an item for the list?
Here, the leader had to stop the member or he would have gone on for too long. Some members like to hear themselves talk. Remember, your job as the leader is to include and maximize the use of all the members. So the skill of cutting off is absolutely essential. The next example portrays a group at a college counseling center. It's 10 minutes into the 5th session, and the leader has to cut off a member's storytelling, but stays with the client to help her.
I mean, you can still tell things are difficult whenever I go over to my dad's. And you can just tell that my stepsister has like this really close connection with him. Like, she got this new car. She's 17. I'm 21 and I have the same car that I had when I turned 16. And she has so many clothes, you know, all these, you know, top name brands and more clothes than I've ever even had.
Let me interrupt. Do you want us to help you? Because we heard some of this last week, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want us to help you or what?
I mean, like this one time last Christmas, just things got really out of hand with my dad, and it just, I want to stop fighting.
Hang on.
Yeah.
What would y'all like to see, or what would y'all like to see Lauren do different at Christmas?
Well, I was just kind of thinking, like, while you were talking, you know how last week you were talking about us, like, how's it you put getting our expectations in line with reality?
Right.
And Lauren, I think he loves you. I just think it's, you guys aren't that close because you haven't lived together and, you know, what, like 18 years. Yeah, but I think he really loves you. I mean, I can feel that, but it's just the fighting still happens.
How about others of you? What do y'all think?
Yeah, I agree with Fran. I mean, I don't know if you see it, Lauren, but to me it sounds like he's really making an effort to try to connect with you.
Liz, you got a look on your face.
I mean, I really wish my dad would ask me to come to Christmas, and I think you could go there and have a really good time. I mean, you said they're all nice and that they're nice to you, and I think if you went, you might be able to be a really great big sister to her.
What do you think of what they're saying?
I just don't want to fight with them anymore. So I just don't.
And you don't have to. You really don't have to.
I mean, it used to be like that when I went to my dad's. It was kind of just like always just tense and all the time. So.
And it's not that way now?
No.
What changed?
Well, I mean, I think what Fran was talking about, I just kind of got I mean, I didn't explain it like that, but my expectations in line with reality, basically.
Yeah, I definitely want to work on it.
The leader cuts off the member's stories because he saw that she was just going to whine and complain. He intervened and focused her in a more productive way by having members comment. The skill of cutting off is essential for good leading. We encourage you to read the section carefully on cutting off and to watch these segments a number of times. Plus, you'll see other examples of cutting off in other segments on this DVD. While it's difficult to say that any skill is more important than cutting off, one could make a good case for drawing out as being just as important. Drawing out is the act of eliciting group members' comments. One of the primary reasons for using drawing out skills is to gain greater involvement from the group members. Remember, one of the benefits of being in a group is to both hear from and interact with other people. One mistake in drawing out is to do what we call spotlighting. In this example, members have been discussing their parents for the past few minutes, and everyone has spoken a couple of times except for 2 members. The first segment is an example of spotlighting, which is how not to draw out. In the second example, the leader gently nudges the members to speak, which is a more effective way to draw out members. Let's watch.
I know that parts of my past are kind of still with me because the relationship with my parents still isn't very good, but I'm finding that forgiveness for what they did to me is starting to get easier.
Yeah, and I think I kind of agree with Lauren. I think that a lot of the problems that I have with my parents are they're from the stuff that happened to us in the past, but I'm also still finding it here in the present too. You know, it's both the past and the present. It's still an issue.
Yeah. Especially with my dad, that's where it comes up, is that I can forgive, but yet that letting go piece is not happening right now.
And I think you all bring in a good part. And Megan, you haven't said anything. Do you want to add anything?
I hope you can see this is not the way to do it. Putting members on the spot often leads to "get the leader" by that member. In the next example, the leader gently encourages the quiet members, but does not spotlight, and even goes to a member who is comfortable talking in the group.
I'm still starting to see how the past is still with me because the relationship with my parents isn't as good as I want it to be, but I'm starting to find that the forgiveness aspect of it is getting, a little bit easier.
And I think I agree with Lauren that I think I'm struggling with both the past and the present. You know, it's things that they've done to me in the past as well as, and how that's influencing our relationship right now. It's both of those issues.
For me, it's my dad. I can forgive all of that in the past, but then what do I do about right now when he's still being a jerk when we're trying to interact? That's hard.
And this is some good stuff we can definitely work on. Megan, is there anything that you'd like to add? Or JP? Okay, well, Fran, can we pick back up with what you were talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's my parents just really disagree with a lot of my lifestyle choices, like the way I live my life, and even sometimes now I think when they try to make kind gestures, I so see and feel the things that they've done in the past have been so horrible and mean to me. It's really hard to let go and open that door.
Yeah, and can I say something about that? Because that's sort of the way my parents are. Because I mean, they're nicer now, but just the stuff they used to do in the past I can't forget it. And it's just really hard to move past that.
And I think that's definitely something that we can work on. And Megan, I know that this conversation might be making you uncomfortable in the group, but if there was ever anything that you wanted us to help you with, I think that we would be capable of doing that and supportive of you.
Perhaps the nudging by the leader helped to encourage JP to join the conversation. In the next demonstration, the leader has been getting members to talk about what they answered to 3 sentences. The leader did this partly because she was hoping to draw out the quiet member. The leader has heard from 2 of the members, and the third one is now talking.
I put my negative attitude. I definitely think that's something I need to work on while I'm here.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're willing to change that, Eric, and focus on that. Lauren, how about you? What did you write for your answers? Which of the 3 sentences were the easiest?
I'm not really comfortable with the staff asking so much personal questions and getting like prodding and nagging me all the time with everything.
Well, you know, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, given that you're such a private person, I can imagine that would be somewhat bothersome. Yeah. What did you put on your paper about something to change?
My fear of sharing things in the group.
Okay. Would all of you like to hear more from Lauren, maybe?
I would. I like you. I'll tell you, you know, I was really scared my first 3 weeks here too.
Yeah, it's good to actually hear you like speak up and talk, because I think it's kind of weird because we're all in the same boat here together, and I think we can all help each other. So it's good to hear from you.
Yeah, I was kind of the same way whenever I came. I didn't want to talk a lot, but the more you do, the more it seems like it really is easier and it helps too.
Lauren, what are you thinking?
I do want to share more, and I mean, I'm glad that you guys said that because that helps.
Okay.
The use of sentence completions or some other writing activity often serves as an excellent way to draw out a quiet member, because the member can read from his or her completed sentences or list. They don't feel on the spot to come up with something to say. In this example, a movement exercise serves to draw out people because they speak with their feet. Movement exercises can be very effective in getting quiet members to talk.
I just really miss my old school and my friends.
Okay. Some of you have expressed that as a real concern. What about others of you?
I just don't really have a lot of friends yet. I like my teacher, and Mrs. Smith is really helpful and tries to make sure that I understand everything, but...
Okay.
It's kind of whatever.
I kind of like it here because, like, I'm in the band, so I get a lot of friends, and a lot of my teachers like me, and the classes are so much smaller than my old school. It used to be like there's 30 people in a class.
So that's a real plus, having moved to this school.
Yeah, I'm starting to really like it.
Yeah. Okay. You know, let's feeling like maybe we need to do a little something different. I want to do this with you. Everybody stand up, okay? Everybody stand up and kind of just push your chair back a little bit. And then I think what let's do is, Jane, I'm going to get you to line up sort of right in front of me, and then everybody else fall in line right behind Jane. Yeah, form a line right behind Jane. Okay? Now I want you to think about this, okay? If I said this wall is I really am liking school, and this wall over here is I'm really not liking school, I'm going to count to 3, and on 3 I want you to move to where your feelings are. You know, if you're really liking school, you'll go really far this way. If you're kind of in the middle, you might stay, you might not move. And if you're really disliking school, you'll move clear over to this wall. Okay, does everybody understand? Okay, on 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and everybody kind of look around and see where everybody landed themselves. Okay. So, JP, you are really starting to like it here.
Yeah.
You found some things that are sort of positives and that you like.
Yeah, it's starting to get kind of awesome.
Okay, good, good. Morgan, Fran, tell me what does your spot kind of mean?
Just kind of like the teachers and whatnot, but still the friend thing is kind of what's keeping me from being more that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like the fact that, you know, we have more time at lunch.
You like that?
Yeah, more time to like be in the clubs that I like, but yeah, the same thing. Like I just really haven't quite found like my friends here yet.
That
so
social niche.
Yeah, that's why I'm not quite as far as JP.
Okay. Lauren, Jane, tell us what yours is about.
I just feel stupid around everyone. You know, I haven't really found like where I can fit in yet.
It's kind of like Fran was saying.
Yeah. I feel stupid.
Okay, well, let's keep talking about that. Jane, for you?
I just don't feel belong here. Like pick on me because I'm not from here.
Because you have that cultural difference, that's become your main issue.
Maybe.
Okay, we want to talk about that, absolutely. And Jen, you're way over there. What is that? Tell us about that.
I'm trying to make the decision actually right now whether to stay here or just drop out.
Oh, okay. So you're really feeling like you're not liking it here.
Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I guess in my mind, and I'm anxious to hear what your thoughts are, but in my mind, our group purpose is really about figuring out how we get everybody over to where JP is, if not a step or two further. Or maybe, and I don't know, it kind of sounds like maybe we want to help Jen this evening. It sounds like you're maybe trying to make a decision about whether even to give this a shot.
Yeah, that fits more for me than because I'm not gonna like it.
Okay, so maybe if we could support you through making that decision, that would be helpful.
Movement seems to help facilitate words. Thus, they are a good option for trying to draw out members. Also, movement exercises are good exercises because they energize members and are active. And something of an extension to cutting off and drawing out is the use of rounds. A round is an activity where every member is asked to respond to some stimulus posed by the leader. Rounds are helpful in gathering information and involving members. Rounds also help in controlling overly verbal members. As we mentioned in the book, there are 3 kinds of rounds: the designated word, phrase, or number round, the word or phrase round, and the comment round. In this first example, the leader asks members to respond by answering here or not here or getting here. We recommend this round for any group where the leader is trying to get a read on the mood and readiness of the members to begin. Let's watch.
Well, I was just going to start group today like we've done in the past and just do a short round of here, getting here, not here. And so here meaning that you're here, ready to start, ready to work on some stuff, or getting here where your brain may be a couple other places, or not here, you're just not here. So whoever wants to start.
I'll start. I'm not really here today.
Okay. Jen?
Getting here.
Okay.
I think I'm here.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm here.
Not here.
Pretty much here.
Okay. And for those, Joe and Fran, why aren't you here? So Joe?
Well, my grandfather's having surgery today.
Okay. What kind of surgery is he having?
He's having knee surgery.
Oh. Well, I know those things are worrisome, but hopefully everything will turn out okay. I hope so, definitely. Fran?
Well, it was right before we came in here, I got a text from my mom, and she said that I'm going to have to spend the weekend at my dad's again. And every time he, is drinking, it just doesn't go well, and I'm just really, freaked out about it. Stressed.
Yeah, we can definitely pick up on that.
In the next segment, the yes-no round gives members a chance to indicate whether they have something they want to discuss in the group.
I'd like to go ahead and check in with everybody at first to see if there's something you have that you'd like to bring up today in group, a topic or an issue. We'll just go around. Tippy, would yes or no? Just a yes or a no. Just would you like to bring something up in group today?
No. Yes.
No.
No.
Yeah. Well, okay. What is it that you would like to bring up, or what's?
I'm actually going to meet my dad for the first time.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's huge. So
Yeah.
why don't we go ahead and let me hold off on that and come in and check in with Jen to see what her issue is, okay? Jen, what is it that you'd like to talk about?
Just my insomnia, ongoing. I know we've got this huge construction project happening in town, and that only adds to it for me with all the drilling all night, all day.
And that may be somewhat of a distraction while we're here in group. I wish there's something we could do, but that's out of our hands. We'll try to stay as focused as we can. And that sounds like something that I believe we could help you with as well. And I'd like to go ahead and take a look at what both Jen and Lauren have brought up. But before we do that, I'd like to go back and talk about what it is that you tried in between our last session to see what it was that has been working for you.
Here, the leader found that 2 members had good relevant topics to discuss. Before working with the 2 members, she first wanted to briefly discuss some things that members were going to try during the week before moving on to focus on helping Lauren and then Jen. In this demonstration, the leader uses a round during the warm-up phase to get a read on how the member's week was.
Let's do an opening round to just in terms of how the week was, in a word or a phrase. Maybe I'll start with you. And a word, phrase, or a short sentence or something. How was your week? Something that captures it.
It was okay, nothing exciting, just normal.
Okay.
My week was great. I got a new job.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind?
I'm working over at the pharmaceutical plant.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's terrific.
Yeah.
Megan?
Not so good. I've just been dealing with some stuff.
Stuff.
Well, my mom just got diagnosed with cancer, lung cancer.
Really?
So it's just been kind of rough.
We'll come back to that. Would you want to talk about that? Or you think? Or?
I mean, I may start crying.
That's okay. Well, yeah. Would you? I mean, we're willing to, because that's tough. That's real tough. We'll come back.
I had a bit of a rough week. I caught my boyfriend making out with another woman.
Oh, okay. Do you want to talk about that? If we're gonna.
Not really, but I think I should.
Okay. Okay.
Pretty good. I finally had that conversation with my dad that I've been talking
good.
about, so
Good.
I was excited about that. But ended up having a fight with my boyfriend as well, so it was kind of up and down.
Okay. So y'all's two is sort of like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My week was full, I guess. As soon as I got home from work Sunday night, I come home, the house was a wreck, and then just none of the chores were done, and it just got really hectic. And
So if you were capturing it in a word or a phrase, full or hectic?
Busy, yeah, busy and hectic, probably.
Okay. Do you want to do that now or not?
I mean, I guess I think I need to do something about it.
By using the quick word or phrase round, the leader knows whether there are things from the previous week that need to be discussed. Round is a useful technique that can be used in many different ways to get members talking and to provide information to the leader about what members are thinking. Also, the round gets everyone's voice into the group so that members get comfortable talking and don't go long periods without saying a word. As you follow along in the book, you may be feeling overwhelmed, as though you'll never be able to incorporate all these skills. But we encourage you to relax. Nobody gets all these skills at first. Take one or two skills, practice them until you're comfortable, watch the DVD, and then practice them some more. Before you know it, you'll be using them with ease. Next, let's explore the use of exercises. Group exercises are used to achieve specific purposes. An exercise can be as simple as having members get into pairs, also known as dyads, to discuss a topic, or as involved as the blind trust walk. Structured group exercises have been around for many years, and there are many sources of all kinds of exercises for all kinds of groups. Herein, we provide 4 demonstrations where exercises are conducted and processed. We think that these examples offer a good idea as to how to effectively use exercises. We are strong advocates in using visual props as exercises to focus members. In this segment, the leader uses styrofoam cups to work on self-esteem with middle school children.
So we've been talking about this issue about liking ourselves and having good self-esteem, and we've been talking about that in your classes too, in character ed class. But I was thinking about this exercise that might help us